Welcome to Mohawk Mountaineers basketball. We are here today at the David Braley Athletic and Recreation Center on Mohawk College campus in Hamilton for a matchup between the Mohawk Mountaineers and the Cambrian College Golden Shield. It is a rematch of last night's game, which was pretty much a blowout. The Mountaineers won by 55 points and eclipsed the century mark while doing so. So, I'm Nick Burney, this is Sadie Martin, and Sadie, can you take us through basically what are the key points that we saw yesterday from both sides, and also even though it was a 55-point blowout win, there was some positives still from Cambrian.
Yeah, the two keys in their game, Carly Marcotte, we knew coming to this game she was going to be a huge star for Cambrian. No offense really works without her, so she contributed 23 points, which is kind of an average game for her. What we weren't expecting, though, was Aurora Delaney. She contributed 12 points and went 4 for 9 from the three-point line, so her threes were on, and they were a lot of deep threes, too, which we weren't really expecting. So hopefully she still has that on a roll today, and she can use that to her advantage. Speaking of the three-pointers, Cambrian actually led that stat against Mohawk, so they had 30 points off three-pointers while Mohawk only had 15. So definitely something that they want to be taking advantage of today if they want to change up their game a little bit.
So going forward, I think what the key is for Cambrian is to try and keep improving. A small squad, but they are still getting better with each and every game this year. However, on the flip side for our Mountaineers, we are getting towards the playoffs, and these are key games that we talked about they must win. So a big win yesterday.
Yep.
Going forward into today, they're trying to build that confidence and continue that momentum. And like we saw yesterday, we mentioned Shannon O'Neill's return. Third straight game, a player returning, and a player leading the team, not maybe in scoring, but leading the team to victories. So
yeah, I think a game back and having over 10 points is a pretty good place to be. We had a lot of girls on the scoreboard. So we had Brittany Gazzola, 17 points, which was great to see. She hasn't really been having the best season compared to last year, so it was good to see her get some points on the board. We had Caitlin Arbor with 19 points. Jen Abella, she got a double-double, so 13 points and 11 assists. She's just been having a great season. That was her second game back, and she's just been doing a great job and working hard. Like we said, Shannon O'Neill, 14 points, and Hunter Johns contributed 15 points. So Mohawk's really able to spread the points around, which is why they scored over 100. So it was a good game, and hopefully we'll see them carry that on today.
So a great win for Mohawk last night. We're back for the rematch this afternoon, but before the game gets started, we're going to go down to Christine Midgley for a little word from Kevin Duffy, the head coach of the Mountaineers. Christine.
Thanks, guys. As always, I sat down with Coach Duffy following a huge win. Now, he talked to us yesterday about the importance of teamwork in the game. He was really happy with the results. We saw injured players getting a ton of play time, and more importantly, the team was respecting their opponents. Moving forward in today's game, we are going to see Mohawk trying out some new offensive and defensive strategies. Hopefully, these tweaks are going to help them in upcoming games. That's all we've got for now. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Christine. So now we're going to look at the starting lineups for the Mountaineers and for the Golden Shield in this afternoon's game. So the starters for the Cambrian Golden Shield in this afternoon's ball game will be exactly the same as last night. Kelsey Trowbridge, Aurora Delaney, Michaela Alloway, Emily Jokias, and Carly Marcotte. The starters for the Mohawk Mountaineers, a few changes. Caitlin Arbor out of the lineup, and Karina Brown, Jen Abella, Steph Rymack, Monica Batnick all start again, with Jessica Ireland now in place of Caitlin Arbor for this afternoon's ball game. We have tipped off. Mohawk is in their orange. Golden Shield are in their yellow. And a quick play down low, and Rymack misses an easy lay-in, but the rebound put right home by Jessica Ireland. Nick Burney alongside Sadie Martin for this one. The rematch from last night, a 55-point victory for the hometown Mountaineers. Quickly brought forward by Cambrian. And another three put up, and Delaney
starting her off already.
Picking up right where she left off last night. So an early lead now for Cambrian. And quickly back down low, and Karina Brown able to finish, putting Mohawk back out in front 4-3.
We can hear Duffy from the sidelines saying it's too easy, so he's obviously wanting them to keep the pressure on this early in the game.
And as you say that, full court press leads to a turnover before Mohawk throws it away out of bounds. So like last night's game, Golden Shield comes out, first time down the floor, set up, spot a long three, hit it. Question is now, can you build off it today?
A little deja vu.
And the ball loose on the floor. It's going to be called out of bounds and taken by Cambrian. Duffy, as you said just moments ago, trying to get his girls to push. A thought about a 3 and a drive from Alloway. She bumps in and will get called on the travel. She went up and down on the way to the rack.
Yeah, coming into this game, I don't think Duffy's not wanting the girls to get settled. You can't get comfortable, especially, after a huge win yesterday. They need to come back focused, just as focused as they were yesterday, and get the lead.
And Marcotte with a steal, drives the hoop. A good defense by Rymack keeps her from scoring. No foul on the play. Stayed on her feet. And now ball back out top. Delaney finds Marcotte. She's going to shoot a long 3. Goes off front rim. Jen Genabella back with the ball for the Mountaineers. Pushing forward into the paint, and a great left-handed layup does not fall, but she'll earn the call and go to the line. She took quite a shot off the face there. So the first couple of minutes of this game have been a little bit of fast pace working down the court, as quick speeds really for both teams.
Yeah, no, they're definitely working back and forth. Like Duffy had told Christine, they're working on a couple of different offenses and defenses because that's the time that they can get that practice in. So starting off with the pressure, it looked like a little bit of a different pressure than we're used to seeing. So I think Duffy's wanting them right up close and don't even let the ball in. So I think he's a little bit disappointed that they're not putting the effort that he's wanted to see right now.
And pretty good work by Cambrian to try and win the ball as it came right over to our feet by the booth here. Good pressure from the Mountaineers, forcing another turnover before Golden Shield can even hit the halfway point on the court.
Nice play.
And a great download pass, like you said, from Batnick to Rymack. We'll take another look. Ball brought forward by Marcotte. Delaney throws it across. Jokius with a quick spot-up shot off front rim. Abella grabs the board, moves forward with it for the Mohawk Mountaineers. She crashes right to the rim, untouched but can't hit the lay-in. Ball kicked back out. Batnick takes her time, finds Abella in the corner, who spots up a 3 and hits.
Shot.
Taking another look.
Cambrian's not looking like they can really keep up with Mohawk at this point, which that can just be the fatigue. We talked about they're a huge travel team. The only games that they don't play back-to-back in the season are against the Sioux. So every time that they go to play teams, they're having to play them back-to-back, and especially with the short bench, that can be very difficult. So I'm sure they're feeling a little winded today.
Cambrian, a little bit better effort in the early going, but still just 3 points from that first possession down the court. Very similar to last night's game, where they did not score past that first possession for over about 4 or 5 minutes into the game.
And we saw another turnover, which we had also talked about, had a huge impact in the game last night. They had 22 turnovers, and Mohawk was able to get 38 points off of that. So definitely something that they're trying to fix on Cambrian's end of things.
Gazzola at the top, receives from Rymack, cuts to the hole, and finishes with the left hand off glass. Take another look at Brittany beating her.
She can just weave through anyone, really. She's very fast on her feet, and she can just see the opening and gets right to the glass.
We're going to see some substitutions now for the Mountaineers. Rymack and Brown will come off and give a chance for O'Neill and Johns to hit the court for the first time. O'Neill at the top to Gazzola. Now across Abella and into the corner, Donald. Down low into the paint, it's Johns. Swinging it outside. Gazzola now into the paint, kicking to Johns. Her left-handed hook shot doesn't go, and she'll grab her own board and put it home.
And Mohawk's really using the shot clock right now, moving the ball all the way around the arc and getting the opportunity that they want because they're able to take that time with every possession.
Ball kept in there by Delaney. Terrific job stopping it from going out of bounds, saving them from another turnover, Cambrian. Shot clock working down. They need a shot quick. Marcotte puts it up. Unbalanced, does not hit. The loose ball rebound picked up and put up and no good. Cambrian looking for a timeout from Nabanga Suwali, the head coach. But there's a kick out offensively for the Mountaineers, and Gazzola drains the 3. And we are going to see a timeout for Cambrian, trailing 14-3 after that. Terrific kick out by O'Neill, and wonderful finish from Brittany Gazzola.
Yeah, Brittany Gazzola's really come alive these last 2 games, so which is good for her confidence. She wasn't really having a good start to the season, so hopefully these 2 games lead into the playoffs better for her.
She definitely likes playing Cambrian. but there haven't been many people that don't like playing Cambrian this year when it comes to offensive stats. Cambrian College struggling to hold teams under about the 80-point plateau in every game this year, so not exactly like you don't expect to score against the Golden Shield, but that
Can't blame them. They're a young team, short bench, traveling a lot, long bus rides, playing as soon as you get off the bus, then staying overnight and getting up to play the exact same team again. Can't be that much fun for them.
It hasn't been an easy year, I imagine, for them schedule-wise, especially when, as you say, they pretty much traveling with a 7-man roster. So a pretty tired team here today for Cambrian College. Trailing early by 14, 17-3 with 5:54 to play in the first quarter. So Mohawk quickly with the full court press, intercepting and knocking it out of bounds. Cambrian College getting it back in. Delaney quickly up court with it, driving towards the hoop, puts it off backboard and no good. Abella with the board. She starts the fast break, slows it down to Johns, finds Gazzola, and the passing starts, and then Abella on the other side is found, but her 3 misses off back rim. Johns thought about going up with it. Abella now to O'Neal. O'Neal looks well across. Gazzola has time, space, spots, shot, no good. Grabs her own board though and takes it back out to reset. Great passing from Mohawk, just swinging it around, and there's O'Neal inside the 3-point arc. Can't hit. And Delaney grabs the board, almost lost it, fires ahead. There's Blondin with the shot. Didn't go, Marcotte couldn't grab the board. Pass goes the other way, O'Neal almost had it punched out of her, but she'll pick up, drive the lane, and earn herself a foul. So a bit of a quiet game offensively from Cambrian, obviously. Haven't had much more than a bunch of shots or missed layups, it seems. So
yeah,
those missed
Mohawk's
chances.
defense is tough on them, so I think that they just need a lot more passes. I think generally they just kind of hope to get the ball to Marcotte and hope she does something with it. On the flip side, though, Mohawk's doing a lot of great passes, a lot of across-court passes, which is making the already fatigued Cambrian team have to run around a lot, so Mohawk's definitely getting the options that they want.
Troybridge moving forward for Cambrian. And another turnover. Abella feeds ahead. There's O'Neal to the rack. She'll earn the call. Good move by Shannon O'Neal to draw the foul by Troybridge.
And a nice toss-up by Jen.
So the full court defense of Mohawk has barely allowed Cambrian to reach half court for most of our first quarter of play.
Yeah, and those also feed into those turnovers, so it's definitely the style of basketball Duffy likes to see.
O'Neal hits the first from the line.
And Mohawk's a fast team, so if they can get those turnovers and take advantage of the fast break, those are easy buckets for them.
O'Neal hits both, stretching this lead now to 18. Marcotte, the mainstay for the Golden Shield offensively, turns it back to Troybridge. Across to Blondin, now in the corner Alloway. Kicks it out, Marcotte thought about it, feeds Troybridge, who will go with the 3 and does not hit. Brown able to grab the board in the corner and feeds Gazzola.
That was a lot better passings from Cambrian on that offensive end, though.
Gazzola across Rymack. 3
That's
goes.
her shot.
Take another look at this Steph 3-pointer on the whip and pass there, going from one end to the other. And there's a steal now, and Gazzola able to put in home an easy 2. Mohawk starting to push this lead now, 23-point deficit for Cambrian. And another turnover in the offensive end for Golden Shield, and it has been a rough day trying to create some offense.
Yeah, and I think it's, Mohawk's putting the pressure in the front court, but even once they get into the back court and once they're over half, they're still doubling them. So, it's hard to escape that.
Alloway at the top, almost throws it away. Delaney covered closely by O'Neal. Marcotte against Brown, tries to step back, does not go for her. The rebound brought down by Samantha Donald. Steph Rymack ahead, Brittany Gazzola thought about it. Up top, Rymack across, Shannon O'Neal open, pops, drills the 2. Mohawk has not missed their chances if you let them get open.
They're going to make them.
Yes, ma'am. Alloway down low, able to get the first bucket for Cambrian College since the first possession of the game. So some positives. There's the positives. It's the little things, Sadie. O'Neal open again, this time unable to hit, but follows up her shot, grabs her own board, can't get it to go. Marcotte able to win the ball. And Marcotte trying to wield it down court herself here, going up against every Mohawk Mountaineer on the way to the rack. And eventually loses the ball, unfortunately, out of bounds. What an effort.
I think the biggest difference we see offensively from the teams is Mohawk, even if they don't make their first shot, they're getting the rebounds and they're getting those second and third chances. And when they do get the rebound, they throw it back out to the arc and they start their play over again. With Cambrian, they get their first shot off and Mohawk's right there with the rebound going the other way.
If not, the Cambrian offense rushing a little bit when they do get second chances.
Which is just that pressure that Mohawk's putting on them. Makes them a little scrambly.
Mohawk with a 30-5 advantage after Ireland able to score on the left-handed hook. And she'll pick up the loose ball now, feeds Steph. Rymack up ahead, Shannon O'Neal driving, stops, back to Steph. Across, they whip it all the way. Desiree Dutrazak to the hole, does not earn the call. It's a turnover of possession. Cambrian back the other way. It's Danielle Dupere getting stuck in between O'Neal and Rymack. Falling to the floor, it'll be a turnover and Mountaineer ball. So Batnick getting the substitution into the game. Gives Shannon O'Neal a break this afternoon with just 2:07 to play in this first quarter.
A little
bit of confusion there from the Cambrian sideline on who was the 5 on the court. And Mohawk trying to take advantage with a quick shot from Rymack, but she can't hit the 3. Batnick, who definitely has some range.
It was under 10 on the shot clock.
And unfortunately, Brown loses it. Had her arm in on the ball and unable to win it. So it'll be Golden Shield possession. Ball inbounded. It's Delaney. Working up court. Finds Alloway. Alloway. Back to Delaney. Delaney. Down low. Kicked out. Alloway from Blondin. Tried to feed it back across to Marcotte. They've looked at her a lot tonight, or this afternoon, and been unable to really get her the ball. Desiree Dutrazak. Down low looking for Brown. Off her fingertips, but she collects. Batnick finding Ireland down low. Her shot does not go. But Brown able to muscle and win the ball back, but it will be called a travel on her as she went up with the shot.
We're seeing a very aggressive Mohawk team today, which I'm sure has a lot of influence on Duffy's side of things. I'm sure he told them, don't let yesterday's game affect this game.
Delaney from afar. She misses off front rim. And Batnick, unfortunately, with a foot step out of bounds, turning over possession. Blondin to inbound. Delaney finds Alloway, makes a move. Back to Delaney. She'll pop the 3 from afar and drills. Aurora Delaney with her second 3 ball of the game. She leads them with 6 of their 8 points. So we'll take another look at that fine finish when it really looked like there was nothing going for them. They needed something. And Delaney delivers. Coming back the other way, Delaney tried to hit Marcotte at full steam down the side and overshot her. So with about 35 ticks to go, Cambrian with another first quarter turnover. Rymack to Dutrazak. Batnick inside. Brown takes it to the hole with ease, but a little hard on the layup. Pushes it too far. Back the other way, possibly last possession for the Golden Shield in this quarter. Delaney up the top, thought about shooting another 3, passes it off. Trowbridge will hit the long range kick out for 2. And we'll take another look at that fine finish on the end around passing there. And now a travel the other way as well for Mohawk. Great finish though by Trowbridge.
Yeah, the 3-point line is definitely where Cambrian wants to be right now.
That was just inside, so it only a long two from Trowbridge, and with under 5 seconds left, Delaney forward will shoot from, I don't know if that was a shot or a pass, but it never made it close, so 30-10
That's the quarter.
is the end of the first quarter. 20-point advantage for the Mountaineers. Nothing
Kind of what
too
we
unexpected.
expected. Yeah, it's everything we expected. Gonna look at some of the highlights from the quarter.
Mostly highlights from the Cambrian defensive end. A lot of rebounds, like you said, offensively and defensively.
Nice drive by Brittany.
The Mountaineers just simply outworking the Golden Shield in that first quarter of play.
And I think Duffy, he carries such a conditioned team. Like when you see Mohawk run down the court, we have 4 Mohawk girls that are beating the Cambrian lineup down. So when Cambrian does turn over the ball, it's hard to beat Mohawk back before they make that easy bucket. So.
And the full court press that we saw last night, which pretty much took that game from a pretty close game early on and made it a blowout immediately in the first quarter.
Pressure does that to teams.
That's pretty much, you know, he's brought it again today, and he seems like he's not letting it up at all. So
no. Well, I think
I
think it's a little bit of a different pressure that he's putting on now. It's more usually they do like a zone pressure, so there's a couple girls back, but today they're doing kind of a full court, everyone's up. So I think he's trying, you know, a couple different techniques, see if they can carry that into the playoffs, if it's something that will work. It's a good time to practice that kind of stuff, work out the kinks, and so that they can use it effectively once they get to playoffs.
So to look at some of the first quarter stats, top scorer for the Mountaineers, Brittany Gazzola, was 7. Also the top scorer in the game, Aurora Delaney, of course, was 6 of 10 points for Cambrian. And as we looked at
big one that stands out is probably total rebounds. Mohawk's out-rebounding them 16-7 right now. And I think that's just like a size difference as well. Mohawk can just dominate those boards when you have, you know, players like the Browns and Ireland all down low. Cambrian has a pretty short bench, so having those players out there, it's hard to go up against our girls.
And the second chance points because of those rebounds, 8-0 for Mohawk in the first quarter. We're underway. Here in the second, Ireland's shot goes off rim and out. Brown able to grab a board, misses, grabs her own rebound, but then lost the handle on it. Delaney, pressured by Gazzola, still in her own end of half, does get it across the timeline. Alloway, Delaney, now Trowbridge. A lot of swinging passes here. Marcotte will stop and pop a 3. It's tipped on the block, and it will almost get out of bounds. Marcotte with a leap almost over the back there of Karina Brown, but almost.
She definitely puts her effort in, especially for the game. Like, she gets 20 points per game generally, and she definitely earns those.
She's definitely been playing a lot of minutes, too, for Cambrian, so she's been giving a full effort for the full 40 minutes. And thus far through the first 50 in these 2 games. Delaney, after Mohawk with the first points of the quarter there. And there's a giveaway. Brown just read that pass. She's going down the other way. She feeds a great bounce pass to Batnick into the hole, but her finish a little too hard. Delaney, pass tipped. And it will be Gazzola with a bit too much aggression there and a foul on Chelsea Blondin.
And that's the first foul on Mohawk's side of things. So I think yesterday the refs were calling a lot more, so I think Mohawk has a little bit more leeway today with their aggressive play.
Delaney to the corner, Jokius. Again, Delaney with a lot of the ball in this game, even more so than Marcotte, but Marcotte, of course, not on the floor at this point in time. Batnick, this time down the floor herself with an easy right-handed lay-in. Clearly using the size advantage that we were talking about last night between these 2 teams.
Yeah, she can just lean into them, and there's no chance of that shot getting blocked.
And a battle between Gazzola and Trowbridge, and it will be Mohawk ball, or excuse me, Cambrian ball on the touchline. Cambrian College still pointless in the second quarter through the first minute and a bit. Shot goes up quickly from Jokius and misses off the back rim and out. Quick feed pass. Abella tried to hit Gazzola. She just could not keep it in off her own leg and out.
Looks like Mohawk's pulling off on the pressure a little bit.
And still with the pullback, a turnover and Abella with an easy 2.
Sometimes it's more intimidating when you look at a press that's set up at half court because you know that they're going to try and get you as soon as you cross that half.
And again, that pressure, like you said, waiting for them at that halfway line, creating a lot of issues for Cambrian just trying to get over the touchline. And there's a block down low. Hunter Johns made it look easy against Carly Marcotte. Gazzola down the other way, hunted by Marcotte, but able to defend. And there, Batnick found in the corner for an open 3, but unable to hit. The Golden Shield going across court, long pass. Blondin inside, intercepted, looking for Alloway. Very back and forth for the last minute or so now. And now Bella stops and pops a 3, and she'll hit. And Jen, that'll deserve another look. The sharp shooting from Jen. Marcotte works forward for Cambrian. Alloway airballs it from the side, unable to find anything on the net. Gazzola down to Abella. Underneath, she kicks it out. Batnick from the side for 3, a little short, and Abella touches it coming back in from out of bounds for a turnover of possession.
I think we're seeing a pretty tired Cambrian team right now. They're not able to keep up at all with Mohawk's offense.
And 7-man roster, as we said, going into both games.
It's hard not to be tired. Having only 2 subs.
And there's a over and back turnover from the Golden Shield. So Mohawk will take over possession here with about 6:40 to play in the half. O'Neal to inbound. Abella from the top, right back to O'Neal. Inside, Johns, turn, shot. Very easy, very smooth. Shannon O'Neal down low, working against 2 defenders, able to steal the ball, but loses it out of bounds. Mohawk will take possession. So still forcing turnovers, even if they aren't bringing the full court press with all 5. And Donald on the easy inbounds, a short little jumper. So Cambrian working forward, and there will be a travel. Blondin took a step before the pass. So Mohawk again forcing another turnover in possession.
Yeah, and Cambrian's already sitting over 10 turnovers.
And still quite a bit of this second quarter to go. Johns underneath draws the foul as she goes up. Or no, excuse me, they're going to call her on the offensive foul with the use of the elbow there. So one of the few Mohawk turnovers, and now Cambrian back up court. Alloway working on Donald, driving. Tried to find Troybridge. She tries to kick it back out. Blondin goes around. Delaney. The shot clock coming down. Marcotte tries to go into the hole. Went all the way through. Drew the foul on the floor, though, on the push. So shot clock set to 14. And they'll take it out from the side. Troybridge, a quick turn, goes to the hoop. Does not get it to go. Donald with the board. Quick outlet. Abella to O'Neal and back to Abella. Now to Gazzola. When they're running it like this at this pace and it looks this smooth, it just looks too tough to beat. The shot goes up, does not go, but again an offensive board for the Mountaineers.
And they're able to reset. So this is those like second and third opportunities that Mohawk gets that Cambrian doesn't.
Brittany Gazzola flying in through the paint. Was tripped up, went hard to the floor. But that's just the kind of competitor and kind of game she plays. She'll go right to the net, and that's what she was saying yesterday. She wants to be an inside-outside type player.
And she proved that with her three-pointer today, and she's gotten a couple of layups for us.
Johns again off the inbounds, another easy shot from Mohawk, but it does not go.
Good box out by Delaney.
And yep, sometimes these Golden Shield girls are showing us a little something, but they need to show a little more on the offense. And then again, still not finding the shot. Still 0 points in this quarter thus far. Ball back down low. Shannon O'Neal drawing the foul.
Take another look at that. It was a nice see by Sam Donald. She was about to step out of bounds, so she's looking for that out, and Shannon O'Neal was following her.
And the Mohawk Mountaineers offense has definitely been leaving those second, third options available for the other teammates, something that clearly on the other end we are not seeing Cambrian do.
No.
There have been very few options except for really going back out to the point to Delaney or to Carly Marcotte.
Yeah, and I think Marcotte might be forcing it a little bit too much. I think she's trying to drive when she should really just, if she has a shot on the outside, take those shots, because clearly their three-pointers is kind of their strength in the game.
As you say that, a three-pointer goes up and is missed by Alloway. So they're definitely trying to stick with the long-range jumper. Ball down low, worked off the hand of Bella, stays in bounds for Cambrian. Marcotte to the rim, does not get it to go off the backboard and out. Dutrazak tried to take the pass and take a step, and the ref will say a travel. And we're going to see a timeout from the roadside. Yet to score in the second quarter, and now trailing by 34 points with just 4 minutes and 18 seconds to go.
I think this timeout's probably being used just a resting time.
A little talk me over, considering they haven't got any offense, but not without a lack of effort. I mean, they've had some shots and chances down low, but like you said, one of their better players, Carly Marcotte, driving a lot more than her usual game would allow for.
Or I just think you have to adjust your game, because the Mohawk girls, they're coming up against players that are a lot taller than them. So you have to adjust your game that way. If you don't have the moves to get by them, then maybe settling for the outside jump shot is the better way to go.
So not many fouls for the Mohawk Mountaineers in this game. Another good part of the aggressive defense that Duffy has gotten them to play, and how good and controlled they've been with it, forcing as many turnovers as they have.
But not getting those fouls.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it's been very clean defense, and that's what Duffy would like to see, and especially moving forward into playoffs. He loves putting the pressure on. I've seen them play full games where they never let off on pressure, and that goes towards their conditioning. And having a deep bench and having all those players coming back from injuries, he's able to keep that pressure on and know that none of the girls are going to get tired or winded from that.
So, 4:18 to go, second quarter. The 34-point advantage as we inbounds. Or we'll have to restart. Not everyone was quite ready for that. Marcotte comes forward for Cambrian. Alloway to Marcotte. Carly. Long range three there. Does not go off rim. O'Neill comes forward. Back to Rymack. Across Dutrazak. To Rymack. There's O'Neill. Stops, pops an open two on movement, but unable to hit off back iron and out.
That was a good play, though. We saw it run in its entirety.
Blondin battling. Almost able to keep the ball in, but will lose it eventually out of bounds. So you'll see a substitute. Marcotte will get a break, and Jokias will come back in for the Golden Shield. Dutrazak taking a look, finds Rymack. O'Neill, down low Donald. Johns, corner. O'Neill inside, Donald turns, puts up the hook shot.
I like seeing the post-to-post movement down low.
And we're going to take another look at that wonderful turn from Samantha Donald, using her body. Maybe a little elbow, but you got to do that to set that position and give yourself that spacing.
And I think the refs are being, they're not calling a lot right now, so the physical play you can kind of amp up a little bit depending on whether the refs are calling the fouls. I think last night we saw a lot more fouls being called, and Mohawk kind of had to pull off their pressure a little bit.
Delaney working on O'Neill.
And the shot clock's down to 6.
Kick out Alloway back. Delaney with time running down. They won't get the shot off. I don't believe they saw that they were running out of time because they didn't seem like they were in too much of a rush to get said shot off.
No, there was no countdown from the bench or anything.
So a lack of communication there from Cambrian. Rymack across, Dutrazak. O'Neill, Dutrazak. Inside, Johns, Dutrazak with the jumper off front rim and out. Donald will kick out Rymack. Rymack, Dutrazak across, O'Neill inside. Donald puts it up, hits the short range jumper.
And Mohawk looks very controlled. You know, they never look rushed. They just do their passes and, yeah, like they have no pressure on them, which, you know, with the lead that they have, they don't really.
Jokius, Delaney. Alloway at the top will shoot over the hand of Donald and hits. So when it does seem to go, it seems to be from beyond the arc, as we'll take another look at one of the few Cambrian shots to
And they're contested
go down
shots
tonight.
too. The 3-pointers that they're making, it's not like they're wide open. They do have someone with a hand in front of their face.
Rymack with a long-range triple missing. Delaney with the board and starts forward. We've seen a lot from Aurora Delaney carrying the ball. O'Neal with the hand check. Ball goes out and will stay in possession for Cambrian. Inbounds to Marcotte. Down low Alloway. Wanted to hit Marcotte on the passerby. Could not. Jokius now working from that corner. Tried to go to the rim and could not get the shot to go through.
And Mohawk's help defense is really great too. You know, the Cambrian girl drove past the first girl, but then there's another Mohawk girl standing there waiting for her. So it doesn't make those layups any easier for them.
And O'Neal driving again will earn herself another 2 from the free throw line. She has been there a lot this afternoon. Mohawk with a 50-13 advantage as O'Neal hits. Under a minute and a half to go in this first half of play from the David Braley
Nice
Athletic
kick
and
out.
Recreation Center. Marcotte flying in for that rebound and will earn a foul on, I believe, Steph Rymack there. Long range 3 off the inbound pass from Marcotte does not go. Rymack able to grab the board and start forward for Mohawk. Dutrazak hits the
Nice
short
shot.
jumper. Nice to see from Desiree. One of her first made shots tonight, and take another look here. Wide open, nice catch and shoot. Very smooth. There's Rymack now, driving end to end for another bucket. Mohawk continuing to stretch this advantage. Under a minute to play in the half, and Marcotte a little out of control towards the net, but able to get the foul. Hunter Johns with the foul in that case. So Marcotte able to hit on 1, pushing Cambrian to 4 points in the quarter and 14 overall, but they do trail quite a bit, and Samantha Donald,
she's on fire right now.
if she's open, she's hitting it.
Yeah, she's got another 8 points in this quarter.
Delaney. Marcotte, step back 3. Oh, just off back rim. She has not been able to find one
And seeing
all
that
day.
Mohawk returns by getting that rebound. I don't think we've seen any second chances on Cambrian's side of things.
And Dutrazak unfortunately called for another travel. The referees have seemed to be all over her tonight with the carries. Just had a rough run of luck. Trowbridge with the clock running down in the half, shoots it up, Johns the board, and with just a second to go, she'll throw up from half and it will not go. Marcotte with a good job of defending. And at the end of one half here, it's 56-14 for the Mohawk Mountaineers. So Sadie, nothing really out of the ordinary. It's a 40-plus point lead. Maybe not the most normal cases, but when we do see a team like Cambrian, the low bench and the travel they do have, this is kind of what we expected.
Yeah, so I think we have some highlights from the second half that we'll take a look at.
Some of the second half highlights, or first half highlights, excuse me, to come. Mainly Mountaineer highlights. And we will be back after this half with the second half of play. Nick Burney, Sadie Martin. So welcome back to Mohawk Mountaineers basketball on M-Link at the David Braley Athletic and Recreation Center. And we are underway with our second half of play here. So basically a little bit of a lopsided first half of play, and Cambrian will try and get things going in the second half against Mohawk, who currently holds a pretty insurmountable 40-plus point lead. Nick Burney alongside Sadie Martin for the second half here. Ball being worked down low from Mohawk to start and quickly kicked out to Abella. And Jen misses a three, but the rebound put back home pretty easily by Miss Ireland.
And in that first half, we see every Mohawk player's on the board. So that's good to see. The bench is being used. We have 30 points from the players off the bench.
So lots of scoring and very spread out scoring from the Mountaineers in that first half. Rymack forward. Finding Jen Abella. And now to Brown down low. Cannot get it to go. Yokius the board. Troy Bridge on the rush with Marcotte. Puts up the rushed shot. Does not get it to go. The kick out. Yokius with a long range 2 off back iron. So here's Batnick. Up top Abella. Swings it to Rymack. Brown now. Her pass intended for Ireland. Overthrown and out of bounds. So the turnover advantage clearly in favor of the Mountaineers after one half of play. That has created, or been one of the major reasons why we've created such a large deficit for Cambrian College.
Yeah, no, Cambrian had 17 turnovers in the first half, which is not a good number you want to see. And off of those turnovers, Mohawk was able to get 23 points off those turnovers. So if you eliminate those turnovers, we would have a different game here.
Abella works forward. Batnick to Abella. Now Rymack drilling the long-range 3 ball. And we'll take another look at that 3 from Steph. The work around Batnick hitting Abella, and Abella able to hit Rymack on the side there.
She's 2 for 4 from the 3-point line today. So we're seeing a better game from her. She wasn't hitting them last night as well.
Batnick with the steal. Pushing forward, Abella taking it to the hole, and Abella able to finish. Mohawk with a 63 to 14-point lead. Cambrian yet to score in this third quarter in the early moments, and another turnover around half. Brown able to play the ball forward, and another easy point for the Mohawk Mountaineers. So Delaney popping the long 3, does not get it to go. Batnick comes down with it. Batnick across, it's Rymack. Brown now to Batnick. Ireland down low, kicks it out, Steph Rymack. And now Abella with the long range shot, does not get it to go off rim. And a turnover out of bounds for the Mountaineers. Carly Marcotte with the ball forward for Cambrian. With 3.5 to play, or played in the third quarter.
See, that's that hard
forward.
Defense that Mohawk's giving them right now. Marcotte was able to get around the player that was defending her, but then the help defense is standing there waiting for her in the key, so she's not able to get that layup off.
Ball moved forward now by Cambrian. Mohawk with a 65 to 14 point, a 41-point advantage right now with 4 played in the third quarter. Lots of substitutions, pretty much a wholesale change coming from the Mountaineers. It'll be Gazzola, O'Neill, joining now Donald, Batnick, and Johns on the court for the Mountaineers. Ball swung out. Yokius with a long-range shot, and Cambrian has their first points of the quarter. We're going to take another look at that one for Cambrian. A long-range shot after a good workaround from the corner. And Yokius able to drill. And then Baga Sawali, the head coach for Cambrian, looking for some time to get a little bit of a break for her Cambrian College team while they trail currently by almost 50 now. Gazzola working forward. to Johns. Batnick back out to Gazzola. Clock running down. They've wasted a lot of time on the shot clocks in their first few possessions. There's a shot from O'Neill with about 10 left. Off rim and out. Gazzola grabbed the board and could not keep it in bounds.
And we talked about how Mohawk's offensive rebounding is, they're getting
We're
a lot
going to take
of those
another look at that
rebounds.
foul there. That put the ball
she
out of
got
the back
pushed
end.
right out of
Gazzola
bounds.
taking that shove. Oh, yeah.
But Mohawk, they're dominating the boards, and so as far as them getting their own rebounds and putting the ball back up, they've gotten 12 points off of just second chances.
So second chance points in favor of the Mountaineers early here in the third quarter.
In Cambrian, they haven't seen any second chance points, and that's just Mohawk dominating the boards and taking that away from them.
Ball comes out off the missed long-range shot from Cambrian. Still looking to find their offensive touch in this quarter. Gazzola to Desiree Dutrezak on the side. Desiree with a little give and go. Now up top, it's O'Neill going in. Johns has another turnaround opportunity from about 10 feet.
Shot clock's down to 4.
Gazzola swings it down, and Desiree putting up the left-handed shot. Does hit rim, does not go though. And a nice attempt by the Golden Shield to break out, but Gazzola able to intercept. O'Neill to Gazzola to O'Neill. Back and forth they go, swinging it around. Donald to O'Neill. Johns puts it in with the shot clock running down off of the backboard, and there will be a timeout now and a substitution, or excuse me, timeout called by Cambrian with 4:18 left in the third quarter. Mohawk holding now a 51-point lead, have the largest lead of the game right now. And coming out in this third quarter, we've basically seen much of what we saw in the first two quarters, and pretty much just another offensive push from Mohawk and a lack of offense from Cambrian.
Yeah.
So
I think we're seeing a little bit of a slower game, though. I don't know if you've thought that, but even just with Mohawk's offense, there's not as much movement going on. They're kind of moving the ball around the arc, but obviously they're feeling no pressure, so they're going to take up the time and use up that shot clock.
I think basically what we've seen is Duffy doesn't want to push too hard. It is the third quarter of a game that you're already up by like 45 points.
Exactly.
So there's not a whole lot of reason
Work
to
on
be
the
down the
plays.
court.
Yeah.
You don't want to be in their face too much and in a way rubbing it in with the scoreline.
And at the same time, you want to be thinking about those playoff games, and we don't want any more injuries. So if you're able to take a step back and slow the game down a little bit, you might as well take advantage of that, because when you get into faster-paced games, that's when injuries are more often to occur.
And pretty much Mohawk has just kept up the pressure for most of the first half defensively at least half court. And in this third quarter, maybe have let off a little bit to give Cambrian a chance, but still Cambrian unable to find points. So even if the pressure, it hasn't been there necessarily in their face, it is not exactly like the Golden Shield have got much going for themselves offensively. Their shots aren't falling, and they aren't, as you said, getting the second chance points to go. So realistically, a lot of things need to be worked on for Cambrian right now. Troybridge moves forward. We have about 4 minutes to go in this third quarter. They have yet to really find their stroke all game offensively, and Marcotte thought she deserved a foul. We'll just have the ball go off the defender and out, so it will be Mohawk ball. Blondin to Jokias. Jokias losing the grip up top. It's O'Neill with the steal. O'Neill has Gazzola with her. She'll go to the rack, finds Brittany, and she has earned the foul on the way up. Troybridge with the foul, number 4 for Cambrian. So Gazzola with a 68-16 lead for Mohawk. Missing the second. Rebound picked up and put right back in. They've reached the 70 plateau with still 4 minutes to go in the third quarter.
And that's just like a great team effort. We're seeing every Mohawk Mountaineers on the board at this point.
All-around offensive effort from the Mountaineers. It's been very spread out. There, an offensive rebound, a pair for Marcotte, but she's unable still to find a way to finish for Cambrian. They have really struggled offensively to get any shots to go down tonight. Johns, Dutrazak, O'Neal. O'Neal cuts through. Gets it to go, and the foul didn't look like she was in the most controlled state as she entered the paint, but does get the call to go. So, as we take another look at that terrific drive.
She did a great job stepping around that player there so that she didn't get that charge.
So O'Neal to the line for one, and will make the one. So a 3-point play for Shannon, stretching that Mohawk lead now to nearly 60 at 57-point advantage, 73-16.
And Shannon sitting with 12 points right now and 6 assists. So for her second game back, she's doing really well.
So O'Neal continues her terrific start since her return to the lineup with yesterday's win over Cambrian.
And with 3 months off, so that's a lot of conditioning loss. So to see her right back at it is it's good to see.
And if you do notice, she is still playing with a brace on her wrist, just in case. So considering that she is not maybe 100% even, playing with a bit of an injury, the effort she's given the last couple games, albeit against a weaker side in Cambrian, has definitely a positive, thing to go looking forward for Mohawk, considering they are slowly getting healthier.
Exactly.
Wide open three, Gazzola hits, and now the lead is set at 60, 76-16. Take another look at that shot from Brittany.
And Brittany Gazzola is not typically the three-point shooter, so she's dropped 2 threes now, sitting at just 2 for 3 from the three-point line.
Shot goes up off rim and out. Batnick grabs the board, comes forward with Gazzola. Gazzola finds O'Neal. O'Neal inside Donald, just right back to O'Neal with so much ease. Shot doesn't go though. And unfortunately, Dutrazak unable to find the handle before it rolls out of bounds. And even with a 60-point lead, Kevin Duffy's still willing to show the ins and outs of the game and teach his girls. He's been right on them to maintain that defensive pressure, and they continue to. O'Neal with an interception. Now Gazzola and O'Neal work with it at the top. Downloads Donald, going back and forth with Johns, and up around the top again.
Nice pass.
Great find down low. Johns with the easy 2.
And Johns also now over double digits. She has 10 points.
Dutrazak finds the loose ball. Another turnover for Cambrian. Dutrazak to Gazzola. Quick long pass. Johns looked inside for Donald and could not hit her. A little high on the pass across. Substitution will be Carly Marcotte as well as Aurora Delaney coming into the ball game. Jokius will be out.
Which were the 2 key players for the game yesterday.
And they will also bring off Danielle Dupere, who we've seen get another opportunity here tonight. Ball swung around at the top. Blondin looking for Troybridge. Almost lost the handle. Quick shot off backboard rim and out.
And I think the biggest change in this game compared to yesterday is Marcotte had finished with 23 points yesterday. And right now, almost at the end of the third, she's only sitting with 1 point.
And you mentioned she had 23 points yesterday of her team's.
Huge change.
Exactly, and that's a big issue.
Big loss.
Considering they haven't even touched 20 as a team in this afternoon's game. And there's a drive, and Dutrazak leaning in. Unfortunately, the foul called on her, and Marcotte will go to the line. Take another look at that foul from Desiree. Trying to beat her back to the spot. Looks like she plants her feet. Hands up, good positioning, just unable to earn the call in that case. And the struggles for Marcotte continue even from the line with under a minute to play.
I think she's looking pretty tired today. The fatigue is definitely set in. I think yesterday, she played so hard, while the rest of the players, they looked to her as being the key player. So she put in like 120%. So I'm sure she's feeling a little sore and have to come back and play another full game. That's a lot.
And she has played quite a bit of this game, too, through the first 3 quarters. Her and Aurora Delaney have been the mainstays for Cambrian on the court. But that does happen often when you only have 2 substitutions to bring in.
Yeah. Someone's got to play the most.
So Donald able to make the free throw. First of 2. Samantha, who's had a great shooting afternoon today.
You
Unfortunately,
jinxed it.
I probably just did. This is why they're getting rid of me after today's game. So, ball moved around the outside. It's Dupere back on the court. Finds Marcotte for a long-range three. It's in and out, went halfway down, but would not fall. She has really just had a bad run of luck this afternoon, Carly Marcotte. There's a great find from Brittany Gazzola to Samantha Donald. And as we said, Donald's continuing to put the points up for the Mountaineers today.
She's also now over the double digits, so she's sitting at 11 points this game.
Delaney, covered by O'Neill, swinging it back out. Marcotte finds Dupere, long-range jumper doesn't go. Board grab by Desiree Dutrasac. Up ahead, O'Neill, and she tripped herself up and fumbled the ball out of bounds. So turnover from the Mountaineers with just 1.3 on the clock. And the inbounds will be tipped away and out of harm. 81-17 the score. Cambrian was able to put up 3 points in that third quarter. We'll run some highlights for you, although there wasn't a whole lot to talk about. Mohawk with a good good first part of the second half there of defense. So, not much really to get into here in detail, but scoring is fun to watch, and I mean the Mountaineers have got to be pretty pleased. 81 points through 3 quarters is a good, stat line, I'd say. And if you anytime you hold a team to 17 points right now, I'm pretty sure.
You have pretty good defense.
So Kevin Duffy can't be displeased with his girls' effort through the first 3 quarters as we head into quarter 4. I think the one thing to keep an eye on is players like Desiree Dutrasac, who don't always get the time. We saw her play a lot yesterday in the end of the game when it maybe was, as some would call, more meaningless minutes, but at the same time a chance to, like Duffy has done for most of this game, try some new things, see some people in different spots. And we've seen a lot more. I think Shannon O'Neill's probably going to touch the court more. Samantha Donald, they're not usual starters, but they just getting more time because this is the kind of game that you do.
Yeah, it builds team chemistry. You can work on all your plays, work on your defensive pressure like Duffy was doing earlier on, and overall work on the offenses and work with whatever defense Cambrian throws at them. So I think it's definitely good to get all those players in, and good for Dutrasac. She got her first 2 points in this game. So it's a good confidence boost and gets her to work with the team in like a game setting and develop her more for further into the season and next season.
So an 81-17 advantage as we get set to start the fourth quarter of play. 38-3 the points off turnovers in favor of the Mountaineers, as well as 16-0 second chance points. So,
which is stuff we've been talking about last game and this game.
Pretty much gone exactly as we imagined. Delaney up top, Marcotte working against Batnick to start. Troy Bridge and Jokius working around. Alloway thought about it. Now she will pop the 3, and it will go off the backboard and out. Ireland move forward to Rymack. O'Neill down low, Brown kicks it out. Ireland with a quick spot shot, does not go. Brown grabs the board.
Yeah, in the last quarter, Mohawk scored 25 points and was able to hold Cambrian to just 3. So I think that's, fatigue setting in, and Mohawk, each team learns about each other in that first game yesterday, and they can use those strengths and what they've learned to just kind of further put that away. So I think Mohawk going into this game saw that Marcotte was their, one threat, and so I think this game they really took that away from them.
And the ball worked down low off the fingertips of Brown. Mohawk turning it over in possession there. Ball worked at the top by Delaney. Delaney to Troy Bridge. Troy Bridge works it around. Marcotte still hits the hole hard. Passes out. Delaney. The long-range jumper doesn't go.
It was a good pass by Marcotte.
And a bit of a turnover in play there from the Mountaineers, something they haven't been doing a whole lot of there. Delaney lost the handle, and then back the other way come the Mountaineers, and it'll be Ireland losing it out of bounds. Still yet to see a point scored in this quarter from either side in the first couple possessions down court. Marcotte. Her bounce pass for Alloway a little high. Alloway in the corner. Found her teammate for a second, but then ball turned over and brought back forward by Mohawk. O'Neill. Batnick. On the outside, Rymack. Now to Brown. Brown lost the handle, tries to go up with it again and does earn a call. Take another look at Karina Brown going into the hole.
Looked a little uncontrolled. I think she might have traveled somewhere in there.
Well, she did have the ball knocked out of her hand by Alloway on her way to the net. And when she regained possession and went up strong, she did earn the foul on that hand check. So, albeit a little out of control, maybe got a little lucky there to lose the ball and regain it. Shot goes up and is missed. The rebound is put back in easily by Batnick. Ball brought forward by Carly Marcotte now for Cambrian. And Marcotte's shot, albeit up off the backboard, she'll earn the foul and go to the line. Foul on Batnick. Take another look at that foul and drive to the hoop. Carly still trying to find her game. Just had Batnick moving her feet there.
And there hasn't been a lot of fouls called, which definitely hasn't worked in Cambrian's favor. You know, Mohawk being a big team, you would expect more fouls to be getting called, but they're able to just kind of block or even just push them out of the key that they don't get the opportunities that they want.
So great work thus far defensively, and also being controlled and patient offensively as well by the Mountaineers.
Nice finish by Karina.
And they continue to do so offensively. Ball worked forward by Cambrian. Delaney. And the pass down low, Marcotte was battling and could not get to the rack, but the ball does go out off Mohawk, so possession kept for the Golden Shield. Pass comes out, Delaney thought about the long range, does not. Dupere to Marcotte, she's still looking for it. Marcotte drives with some aggression but cannot get it to go, and Troybridge tried to take the ball from Brown, but possession for the Mohawk Mountaineers here. Or excuse me, they're going to give possession actually to Cambrian on that. And reset the
looking
clock.
a little frustrated, which
coming out a little more aggressive,
yeah.
But the frustration clearly is what has led to the aggression. They've had a pretty rough 2 days here at Mohawk and will be suffering a second hefty defeat, and for really the fifth in the last 6 games that they've lost by a majority of probably around 50-plus points. Oh, a ball comes hard off the rim, hitting Karina in the face, but she seems okay.
That's good. We don't need more concussions.
The last thing the Mohawk Mountaineers need is a few just uncanny
Nice finish.
Injuries here towards the late finish of the year. Take another look at that finish down low. Good work around, and Brown with a nice little spin and turn to the basket.
Finish with the right hand.
Marcotte stops, shot, gets blocked by Batnick, never makes it to the net. Rymack comes down with the loose ball. Feeds ahead to Batnick. She makes a little move in, takes a short jump shot, doesn't go. O'Neill on the rebound, unable to get there in time. So substitutions, Rymack will get a break. Desiree Dutrazac will come on, and at the same time, a timeout will be called for the Golden Shield, trailing by 69 points, 87-18 right now. They've only been able to score 1 point off a free throw in the quarter thus far. So not one of the better games in terms of competitive action, but
No.
at the same time, like we've said time and time again today, and we will continue to say, Kevin Duffy is working on things. It's a positive that you get a win. At the same time, you can kind of throw some new things out and new people out on the floor together, see what mixes, what doesn't, and hopefully going forward in the playoffs, you can get the kind of best out of them, really.
Yeah, and I think the biggest miss is Delaney. She's sitting at 6 points right now, but yesterday she finished with 12, a lot coming from her three-pointers. And Marcotte hasn't been able to sink much today, so I think she's sitting at 2 or 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, in total, the game today we kind of expected more, I think, from Carly Marcotte on the one side. And from the Mountaineers, we've gotten exactly what we expected.
Yeah.
But a little bit of positive when you do look at the fact that Aurora Delaney has been a little bit more of a sharpshooter today than we expected. She's actually touched the ball a lot more than really we saw last night.
Yeah, she's been really aggressive today.
And I think that is also another thing to look forward to if you are Cambrian. Ball inbounded by the Golden Shield as they work with it from right to left. And Delaney shoots a long three, does not get it to go, goes back out off rim. O'Neal, down low Ireland, back out. Swung around by the Mountaineers at the top of the three-point arc. Down low, it's Ireland. Cuts to the net. Left-handed layup does not go high off glass. Trowbridge coming forward, tries to slow it down here. Feeds across Delaney. Delaney took a look to her left, goes to her right, goes hard off glass from afar and does not get it. Dutrazak now, working it forward. Batnick to Brown, Brown to O'Neal, O'Neal to Dutrazak. And there's Batnick. Now O'Neal, stop, pop, shot goes off rim and will not find its way down. Brown with another offensive board. Ball goes down low. Brown turns, shoots, does not go. Johns on the board, able to put it back up and in. Or excuse me, Jessica Ireland. Cutting to the rack, Marcotte kind of just whips it at the rim, does not get it to fall. Dutrazak carries forward. She'll find Batnick. And now O'Neal. And down low, there's Brown, makes her move into the paint and finishes with ease.
She's been doing well in the paint tonight. She's sitting at 12 points now and is close to a double-double. I think she has 9 rebounds.
73-point advantage for the Mountaineers, and Marcotte walks off to the Cambrian sideline in some clear pain. With 4:42 to go in the fourth quarter, and the Mountaineers with quite the advantage. Delaney to Alloway. Looking for a teammate, finds Delaney, but under immense pressure. Now to Jokic.
The shot clock's down to 4.
Shot clock time running out. Delaney has to put it up. She does not. I don't think Cambrian, again, able to communicate from the bench to their players what is taking place and unable to let them know that the shot clock was running down.
Well, looking to Cambrian's bench now, we have someone icing their shins. So both their players that they do have as subs are injured right now. So this last 4 minutes is looking like the girls there on the court.
A rough go today and a rough go this weekend for Cambrian. And it has not been their weekend in any form or any shape. Trying to play out this last 4 minutes here. Jokic, long range shot, hits and gets Cambrian to 4 points in the quarter and 21 now overall. Gazzola back the other way to Dutrazak. Finds O'Neal on the other side, and O'Neal up top to Gazzola. Now to Dutrazak. Donald swings it back. What passing from the Mountaineers. They making it look really easy. And unfortunately, Donald a missed turn jumper. Delaney driving to the net, losing the handle on the way. Ball goes out of bounds, but they will give the foul, I believe. And Delaney is going to go to the line for 2. Delaney missing her first from the line with just 3:12 to play, fourth quarter. Delaney missing again, as she does not hit either of the two from the line. Dutrazak. As the ball swung around now to Gazzola. She'll cut in, tries to feed it back out to O'Neal, but lost the handle on it. Out of bounds. So 2:59 to play, a short break. Mohawk has been all over, whether it be the boards, points, steals, assists. They've outdone them in every category, but like we said, they're pretty much completing this last 5 minutes of the game with the 5 players they have on the floor. They've got one icing on the sideline, the other resting is Carly Marcotte, who has pretty much played the entire game.
Yeah, and there isn't really someone I can pick out from Mohawk that's standing out either. Everyone's almost over double digits. So we have Brittany Gazzola, she's at 11 points. Karina Brown, she's at 8. We have Abella got 11, Rymack, she's at 12, Shannon O'Neill 12, Hunter Johns 10, and Sam Don 11. So really spread. That speaks to Mohawk's deep bench. After the third quarter, Mohawk had 46 points off the bench. So that's a huge number for any team. So knowing that Duffy can put out any of his bench to give his starters a rest, and they can go out and keep contributing to that grand total.
Mountaineers are 70-point leaders right now over Cambrian. So as we walk through the last 3 minutes here, Mountaineers are on their way to another victory. And following their win over Fanshawe and their win prior to that over Niagara, and of course the win last night over Cambrian, this will be 4 straight for the women's. And they are building that kind of momentum that they need towards the playoffs. Gazzola to Dutrazak. And now O'Neill. She will shoot. Long range shot doesn't go. Follows up the rebound and puts it in. Simple, smart basketball has ruled the day for the Mountaineers. And we'll take another look at that. Perfect example of it here.
That was great if we're getting our own rebound, especially when you're a shooter. When you shoot the ball, you have a general idea of where it's going. So if you can follow your own rebound and return it with an easier shot, it's the way to go.
One of the harder things to teach younger people in basketball, following up your own shot. So a great example of it there from O'Neill. Ball worked around by Cambrian at the top. Under 2 to play. Alloway to Delaney. Delaney thinks, shoots the long 3. It just misses off back rim with the shot clock coming down. So ball inbounded. O'Neill to Gazzola and up ahead to Dutrazak. Mohawk looking for some points in their final possessions. Gazzola's shot does not go. O'Neill right there to pick up the loose ball and finish, bringing Mohawk up to 95 points now.
She's been great getting those second chances. So she's now sitting at 16 points.
Ball worked around by Cambrian from the top. Jokias on the side, tried to keep it in, but while doing so, turned it over. Here comes Shan O'Neill. Flips it back to Gazzola. Taking a long look, Dutrazak. Dutrazak across, took a shot to the arm there from Dupere. And the hack foul will bring the ball off to the side to be re-inbounded. 1:09 to play. Dutrazak inside, Johns turns, there's no one around her. Still passes off to Gazzola. Finds O'Neill in the corner for a long-range shot, does not hit. Ball coming over, and the Golden Shield move forward with under a minute to play in this one. Troybridge to the corner, Jokias. Turned it over again, Dutrazak with it with under 40 seconds left in this one.
It looks like Cambrian's gone into his zone, conserved energy and finish off this last 30 seconds.
As Batnick puts that home to raise the Mountaineers' point total to 97. They have about 1 or 2 trips down the floor left, and O'Neill creates a turnover, and with under 20 seconds left, they'll move forward, and Dutrazak will pass it back, and I believe the Mohawk Mountaineers are going to run this one out and improve their record with an 11th win on the season now, and their second straight, taking both over the Cambrian Golden Shield. This one a final 97-21 for the Mountaineers. So
it's kind of what we expected.
Pretty much, like we said early in the pregame, we got what we expected in tonight's game. One-sided affair.
Yeah, unfortunately on Cambrian's side, I think that they were just tired. We didn't see the performance from Delaney and Marcotte that we expected. But the Mohawk girls, they didn't let up, which we thought might have been an occurrence, coming off an easy win that they had. But they kept pushing forward. We had lots of girls on the scoreboard, which was great to see. And hopefully this is just more to come in the playoffs.
So basically, we got what we expected in the first game today, much like, of course, last night's win for the Mohawk women's. We did see, again, some consistent offense, some great defensive play, and one of those players that we did see was Steph Rymack. And Steph now in her, I believe this is her third game back, so you got Steph, Steph her fourth game back, Jen's third,
yep.
Now Shannon with her second in a row. If anyone comes back even more from that,
we're just
you
expecting
just feel
better.
another win coming. So
yep.
It's a good feeling right now for the Mohawk
women. And we don't even
women.
have the whole team back yet. We still have Sam Pockernick. She's been out on a concussion for a lot of games now, so we haven't really seen her. She was a rookie, but she started the season really strong. She was averaging 18 points per game. So I think once we get her back into the game, we have a very strong Mohawk team to be reckoning with.
And considering that Sam is one of their best scorers, and they're playing without one of their top scorers, this is pretty amazing, the success they've had. So now that we have this game completed, we're going to go over to Christine Midgley, who has Steph Rymack with her. So Christine, take it away.
Hey guys, I'm here with number 15, Steph Rymack. Now, you have had a crazy weekend, 2 back-to-back wins. How have you had your energy?
I don't know. It's just been a lot. Like, we try to push the ball. Like, we have many players on the bench that just come in and do different things. Like, if one person needs a break, another person comes in. So we all just help each other out and serve energy.
Well, hopefully you guys get some rest now. Coach Duffy talked to us about using these games against Cambrian as team-building games. How did you manage to do that?
We worked on a lot of things, like talking on defense, getting back on our player. So we just tried to bring that into our game and energy. So when we do that, Duffy just wants us to try to bring that into our games when he wants us to team build.
Well, perfect. Hopefully we see more of that going forward. Good luck in the rest of your games.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Nick, Sadie, back to you.
Thank you, Christine. So the final score, 97-21 in favor of the Mountaineers. And, of course, we have some highlights for you to send it away. And, of course, for Sadie Martin, I'm Nick Burney. We'll see you again next time. Thank you for watching.